Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny day, the university campus filled with joy as David and his peers celebrated their graduation. Laughter and cheers filled the air, and proud families clapped as degrees were conferred. Among the graduates stood David, an honors student in engineering, holding several awards. Yet, while others celebrated, David's mind was already racing toward the next phase of his life. After his graduation, David was assigned to a remote community school for his National Youth Service Corps. For 1 year, he dedicated himself to teaching, learning from the villagers, and growing in patience. Once his service was complete, he bid farewell to the community and returned home to his family in the village. His parents were excited to receive him back home after a successful youth service year. That night after dinner, he told his parent about his plan to leave the village and relocate to Lagos. His father and mother, though worried about how he will cope in a big city like Lagos, encouraged and advised him to really be careful out there and never to bring shame to the family. His parents prayed and blessed him as they wished him the best life ever. "You will go places, son, and conquer your word. Heights I could not attend. My dear, you will surpass it, and whoever that will lay curse on you, such shall they and their household reap," said David's father. "You will never be a failure. No child that suckled my breast shall neither be cut short nor be wasted. The land of Lagos shall favor you, my son." "My blessings are with you," said the mother. Early that faithful day, David prepared, went to the park, boarded a bus, and set out for Lagos, the bustling city of opportunities, in search of greener pastures. David traveled for 8 long hours before he finally got to Mike, his cousin's place at Lagos, who accommodated him in his apartment pending when David gets his. "Welcome, my brother. How was everybody back home, and how was your journey to Lagos?" Mike asked. David tiredly said fine, though stressful. The bad road and traffic was indeed terrible. "Have you had anything? I made something. You can have some if you are hungry," said Mike. "All right, thanks. I will eat that later," David replied. David and Mike had a good time talking. They both later ate and went to bed. Next morning, armed with his degree and a meticulously prepared resume, David began the grueling process of job hunting. He visited countless offices, submitted applications. He equally browsed for job opportunities through the internet and made applications. The following day, the search for job continued. He walked through the street of Lagos in search of job, scotched by sun and famished. He quickly stopped by at food vendor's store and bought roasted plantain and beans to refill his energy. After eating, he went home and eagerly checked his email at intervals. But opportunities seemed scarce, and he kept receiving unfortunate responses. Back home, his family grew anxious. His father called frequently, urging him to take any available job, regardless of its connection to engineering. "A man must work," his father said, and their concerns became a heavy burden on David's heart. His mother also called him and encouraged not to lose hope. A flicker of hope came when David was invited to his first interview at a construction company. Dressed in his best attire, he walked into the office with high hopes. The panel questioned him thoroughly, but their focus soon shifted to one's connections rather than qualifications. David, lacking influential references, left him with only the faint promise of a callback. Undeterred, David pressed on. The streets of Lagos became his daily companion, but 6 months passed with no breakthroughs. One fateful afternoon, he bumped into Nathan, an old classmate driving a flashy car. Nathan, seemingly thriving, invited David to a nearby restaurant for a chat. Over steaming plates of food, Nathan revealed his secret to quick success. "There are ways to get rich fast," Nathan said slyly. "If you're willing to bend the rules." David, guided by his faith, declined firmly. Despite Nathan's persistence, they both finished up and parted ways after exchanging contacts. Mike, having accommodated David for more than 6 months, asked him to go rent an apartment. On the other hand, rejection emails piled up, but David's faith stood unshaken. Each night he knelt in prayer, holding tightly to Psalm 37 verse 7, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him." David searched for a room in Mike's neighborhood. After a few days of house hunt, he finally got a room in a nearby apartment and moved out of Mike's house. To survive, David took to assisting traders in the local market. Carrying goods and running errands was backbreaking work, but the lively interactions with people brought moments of joy. After some time, he gathered the little money he was able to save to start up a small poultry business, pouring his heart and energy into it. While he continued to work in the market, the business thrived initially, but disaster struck when a disease outbreak wiped out his entire stock, leaving him crushed and penniless. David cried and started questioning why it seems the universe is against him. Despite being best graduating student with so many awards yet nothing to show for it, he found solace in the word and promises of God and moved on with life. A glimmer of hope arose when a friend informed David of a job fair nearby. Using the last of his savings, David attended. The venue was teeming with eager job seekers, and despite his best efforts during the interview, David left empty-handed with no assurance of securing a spot in the firm. On his way back, feeling defeated, he wandered into a busy market where the rhythmic sound of a talking drum caught his attention. There sat an old man, playing the drum with a serene smile. David stopped, captivated by the music. "Patience and faith," the man said softly, "will lead you where hard work cannot." The words stayed with David as he returned to face yet another trial. His landlord, tired of months of unpaid rent, gave him a week to vacate. Just when the weight of despair seemed unbearable, David's phone buzzed. It was an invitation for an interview at a prestigious company he had applied to months earlier. Excitement mingled with fear as he prepared for the day. Lagos' infamous traffic threatened to ruin his plans, but David sprinted into the office just in time. The interview panel questioned him intensively, and David spoke from his heart, using his market hustles and failed poultry business as examples of resilience and problem-solving. After the interview, one of the interviewers thanked him for making out time to attend the interview, and gently said, "We'll get back to you," just like his previous interviews. Days turned into weeks with no response. To sustain himself, David began home tutoring children in his neighborhood. Teaching brought him unexpected fulfillment and sharpened his communication skills even as he earned little stipends. One night, David dreamed of the old man with the talking drum. In the dream, the man smiled and said, "The seed has been planted. The harvest is near." Not long after, David received a call. He had been offered the job. Overwhelmed, he knelt in prayer, tears of gratitude streaming down his face. His first day at work was both thrilling and daunting, but he embraced every challenge with determination. He met his colleagues and began learning about the company's innovative projects. David became exceptional in the office. His creative and innovative ideas made him an outstanding worker of the year in the company. The company sponsored him for 3 months further training out of Nigeria. When he returned after the training, he was made his unit manager. David's journey didn't stop there. From designing impactful projects to mentoring young graduates, his path became a beacon of hope for others. He never forgot the lessons learned, that faith, patience, and integrity are the true keys to lasting success. As David reflected on his journey, one image remained vivid in his heart: the old man with the talking drum, whose words had turned out to be a prophecy fulfilled. In life, trust in God's timing, even when the path seems unclear, and note that patience and perseverance are rewarded in due time. Remember, faith is a journey that requires commitment, even amidst challenges. More so, integrity and righteousness lead to enduring success.